Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. What's up, guys? My name is Eli. Welcome to my channel, Verite, where I hope to bring you guys a variety of content. So this is my first time playing this game. I'm going to be playing through it on easy because I believe that you can change the difficulty as you go. So if easy is too easy, I'll bump it up. I've kind of reached the point in my life where I don't really do things because I want to impress other people. So I'm not trying to play on like super hard difficulties or anything like that. I'm actually just trying to experience the game. Just gonna quick check that we're on borderless window. We are good. Alright, so I've actually played Pathfinder Kingmaker before. And if you guys have ever listened to the the Castle Super Beast podcast with Wooly and Pat, formerly known as, Super Best Friends, you'll know that Pat has played Pathfinder Kingmaker, and he totally called that game out on forcing players to want to cheat, because that's exactly what I did, and I actually kind of ruined my experience with the game. Other than that, my only really gripes with that game was that I wanted more customization. I've played through Pathfinder in real life with some college buds a while ago, and I had a lot of fun. And when I saw that Kingmaker was on here after one day just reminiscing about it, I went and I bought it and I played through it, and I had fun while I was playing through it, but it didn't really have all the class options that I wanted to choose from. And then I saw that Kingmaker was already out, that Kingmaker Wrath of the Righteous was already out, and I was like, I should just be playing that one. That one has a lot more class options, so pretty excited to get this game started. So yeah, let's go ahead and start a new game. We as developers are always trying to strive to improve our work. To do this, we need information that we can only get from you. Okay, yeah, sure. Take my info. Alright, we're going to start on main story. Difficulty, I said that we play on easy. There isn't really an easy. So yeah, this game has a lot of customization. Ironically enough, a lot of customization in other areas, such as what difficulty you want to play on. You can even go in and tweak things. The one thing that I know that I don't like is getting like a game over screen just because my party died. What I like about Pathfinder is that you don't know what's out there in the world. It's all fabricated and created when you're in a TTRPG setting. But in a video game, though, I feel like the devs can just put a challenge in front of you that you're completely incapable of overcoming, and you can just have a total party wipe and then have to start over. That's kind of the key difference here, is that in a video game, you can get that game over screen, but when it's not a video game, then what do you do? You know what I mean? So I would prefer to have it set to where that I don't just get total party wiped because there's like an early challenge that I didn't know that was there. I want to have sort of a TTRPG type experience. So let's just look at some of this stuff here. Then we got auto level up, enemy stat adjustments. I don't think I want to mess with any of that. Death's door, okay, let's go that. When this option is enabled, your character and companions will not die after suffering a deadly injury. Okay, so good, that's already on. Critical hits are weak. The power of all critical hits inflicted upon members of your party. So weak damage bonuses are not multiplied on critical hits suffered by your party, but making critical hits, which makes critical hits significantly less deadly. So the way that I understand it in Pathfinder, if you've played a lot of 5e and never 3.5e, I think is what Pathfinder is based off of, then you'll know that whenever you score critical hits, when you get that nat 20 and you feel good and you double your damage, and as long as you didn't roll a couple of ones and did a pathetic critical hit, you typically do a lot of damage. In Pathfinder, the way that I understand how it works is when you roll a 20, that doesn't mean that you automatically get to roll double damage. You then have to roll to confirm your critical hit. This is actually a system that I did not like. It never felt good to roll a 20, get that, oh yeah, I got a crit moment, and then DM just goes, wait, you gotta roll to confirm a critical hit. That initial D20, all it means is that you're gonna hit. You're not gonna miss. But you have to roll and succeed the enemy's AC armor class in order to actually confirm that hit. So that seems fine for kind of like first time playthrough. Enemies will hit sometimes for sure, but not always. Or I guess with weak, never double their damage. Damage to the party. We're probably just not gonna mess with that. Weather effects are light. I think weather would be cool. Crusade management difficulty. So the reason why I started cheating in Kingmaker was actually because I felt like I never had enough gold to do anything, because I was constantly spending it on the kingdom subsystem. And that's, I felt like I didn't really manage my time, my ratio of playing the game versus managing the kingdom well. And when you cheat to give yourself a bunch of money, all it does is really force you, not really force you, but it makes it so where you can really lose yourself in the kingdom management system. So I recommend not doing that, by the way, if you're going to play Kingfinder. Just play through it normally. I'm not going to cheat in this game. So I'm just not going to worry about this little subsystem too much. It'll be whatever it'll be. We'll see how it goes. This actually setting looks fine. Let's just click on casual. Casual turns crits off. Auto level up all possible. Let's see what that means. Companion toggle automatic leveling up for party members. When on, gaining levels happens automatically, and you can monitor how the hero's skills and abilities develop. You can turn off automatic leveling up for any companion, but then you'll have to manage their development for the remainder of the game. Okay. So off custom leveling up of all characters. Companions. Custom leveling up of player's character. Companions are leveled up automatically. All characters are leveled up automatically. So that was another thing that I didn't really like too much about Kingmaker, was that you get these companions, and it's single player TTRPG. Shouldn't you be in control of all of your companions? But in Kingmaker, was like, no, this guy he's a Spellblade automatically, and too bad, so sad if you wanted to make him something else. So this looks like, I don't know if it lets you change their initial starting class, but it at least lets you manage their how they level up, which maybe that was a setting that I just overlooked, and I just kept it on all possible in Kingmaker, or maybe they just had that as all possible by default. Kind of seems kind of strange. Of course, I would want to level my companions up. Much weaker enemies and damage to parties significantly lowered. So I don't think we need to go that much. We will look at auto level up on normal. So it's set to companions, which means that companions are leveled up automatically, while the player's character is custom. That seems like an odd difference, off kind of implies, what does off imply? All characters are leveled up automatically. Okay, so if you turn it on all possible, I guess that means that even your character gets leveled up automatically, which seems really weird. I don't know why anybody would want that. Let's see if we put it on fair. Does that change it to, what does that change it to? It changes it to off, which makes sense. But if you change it to story, it's all possible. Okay, so they're basically saying if you want to go full on super easy mode, we'll even manage your character for you. That makes sense. I'm actually going to have it turned off. I want to control my companions, but everything else, from a brief look over, looks pretty good. So let's get going. Alright, I remember before getting started in Kingmaker, spending a bunch of time trying to download portraits and all this stuff because I wanted my character to be, you know, an original-ish character. But I didn't do that today. We're just going to work with the default stuff that we got here. So let's see what we got. So they got some pre-generated characters. We're not going to choose any of these, you know, that's kind of lame. I want to make my own guy. So let's go with custom. And then picking your portrait before you actually pick your class, that doesn't really, you know, you gotta already have an idea for your character, I guess, if you pick that. One thing that I did notice in Kingmaker that I wasn't a super big fan of, and I'm not trying to rag on Kingmaker here. Kingmaker is a really good game. You should definitely play it if you are interested. But there, you know, I had some problems with it. One problem that I had was in the base portraits, you could totally pick a character that was either a companion or an enemy that you would find later in the game as your portrait, which seems kind of awkward, you know, like this character looks like one of those characters from Kingmaker. I forget his name, but I almost have a really good feeling that if I were to pick this portrait, I would see it again. We'll probably see it again regardless. I do have an idea of a character that I want to play. If you've ever read the manga or seen the anime Kingdom, which is a Japanese manga based on ancient Chinese history, very loosely, I should say. That anime and manga is super freaking dope, and Shin is awesome. I don't want to recreate Shin, but I want to go for that great general of the heavens vibe. So let's see, what should we go with here? None of these really have that vibe going on. I do appreciate having some options for our darker skinned fellows. Okay, here, look, here's the Kingmaker portraits, which, let's see, where's that guy? Was it this guy? No, I don't even remember that portrait, to be quite honest. Kingmaker characters. Okay, yeah. It wasn't separated like this in Kingmaker, so like if you just wanted to pick this guy and then later on you find, oh shit, this person this is a real character and I have the same portrait, that kind of seems kind of lame. This would be kind of cool, you know, if you're thinking, oh, I'll just, you know, continue playing a character from the previous game and sort of make them my own original character. So that's kind of neat that they included those. However, we're not going to do that. I'm pretty confident that we'll probably see this guy again. We'll come back to the portraits if, you know, if we pick a race that really just doesn't, you know, mesh with what we want to do. So classes. So yeah, so you get a lot of class options in this game. You can pretty much, it's not every single thing from, you know, Pathfinder, because that game has been around for a very long time and has a lot of extra stuff added onto it. I don't want to be an alchemist. I don't want to be an arcanist. We are probably actually going to be looking at monk, and specifically the Sohei. So the Sohei are masters of the horse and the hunt. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Monastic? I don't know. A monastic soldier, the Sohei is equally adept at combat afoot or on horseback. While skilled in unarmed techniques, many Sohei favor weapons they can use while mounted on horseback or against other horses. So yeah, so this guy's basically, their big thing is that they start out, I believe they should at least start out with a mount, and that they do mounted combat really well, which is exactly the, you know, the great general of the heavens sort of vibe that we're trying to go for. Shin may not have started out with a mount, but they get there eventually. So let's see here. Class skills, mobility, athletics, persuasion, lore, knowledge, perception, stealth. So the thing about class skills is you don't really know because we don't know our party members. You know, when you're starting out a new game of Pathfinder, you might work with your buddies to make sure that you guys are covered all around the board. But since we haven't met our party members, we don't really know what class skills that we want to, you know, be proficient in yet. So we're gonna have to play this by ear. Let's see. They get skills. What's this? Sohei gains lore. Flurry of blows. That's kind of one of the monk's main hero moments type of deal, where they get to do a bunch of attacks in one turn. Weapon and armor proficiency. Simple weapons, martial weapons. We should be able to use glaives. That's definitely what I'm going to go for. Unarmed strike. We're not going to really try to do unarmed strike. I know that they're good at it, but that's not the fantasy that we're going for, and that's what I like about these games more than anything. Animal companion, of course, because we're going to have a horse. Bonus feats. Devoted guardian. Sohei gains a bonus on initiative rolls equal to 1/2 his monk level. At 20th level, Sohei's initiative is automatically a natural 20. Wow. Bonus feats. A Sohei may select mounted combat feats as a bonus feat. Of course. So, yep, this looks really cool. If you're wondering what I played in Kingmaker, I actually started off as a Scale Fist and then later just completely Respect, because I wasn't really liking that vibe. I've never really been too big on that type of deal. What I actually ended up doing was I put some points into, is it in here? Should be. Yeah, I put some point into Thug because I think the idea of just a random, person from the street, that guy from the hood who finds himself almost like that Martin Lawrence comedy, Black Knight, just a guy from, that could be from anywhere, just finds himself in this setting, and he just uses his street smarts to get by. Then after putting some points in Thug, I then dumped points in Paladin, because I thought that would be, really cool. It's just like this Thugadin, basically. This guy that used to be from the streets and is hard, but then kind of got his shit together and found some redemption in the holy light, that type of deal. What else they got here? They got wizards, witches. Witches are kind of like, I always think of them as like shamans, kind of, from the Warcraft universe, but witches, looks like they got hexes. I guess that's more like, the warlocks. War priests, sorcerers, slayer, scald. A lot of times, if you can find yourself having difficulties feeling inspired looking at some of these things, especially if you've seen a lot of them before, and become a little bit jaded. That's kind of why I am that I really want to do the Sohei, because when looking at, playing TTRPGs, a lot of times you get caught up in looking at what's the best, which one is the best, what does the most damage. I bet if I were to go to Google and type in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, the automatic first autofill is going to be Path of the Righteous, best class, best starter class, most DPS, most damage, best tank, or whatever. But I think the beauty of these games is that you don't have to be the best. You can just be someone who just becomes good at something and still, experience something. You can have a good experience with the game, or have a good experience with your buddies at the table. But since this is a computer game and that, there's no one there to fudge numbers to help you hit that bad guy and get that killing blow to feel and look cool, I can understand wanting to sort of be min-maxed, and there's some merit to that. So we are going to go ahead and go with this. We're going to go for General of the Heavens. As far as min-maxing, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up being a strength-based character since we're going to be wielding a glaive. So let's see what we got here. Humans. No, it's hard to justify picking a human in a fantasy setting. I guess the draw is like seeing the best version of yourself. Like, what if you, as you exist now, were to be in this world full of magic? But I've never really been drawn to humans in these settings that much. Let's see, we got elves that get +2 to Dex. That's pretty typical. We got elven weapon familiarity, which might have some kind of two-handed weapons, but let's see. Long bows, long swords, rapiers, short bows, and they can treat any weapon with the word elven as a martial weapon. So no, we're not gonna go with elves. Dwarves have always been pretty cool. Let's see. +2 to Constitution and Wisdom. That can be good. We might be taking some hits. I'd imagine that our horse. I'm not super familiar on the on the rules of mounted combat and Pathfinder, so I don't know if our horse will be taking damage or if we'll be taking damage for our horse. I wouldn't be surprised if the AI is programmed to try to slaughter your horse as quickly as possible. So maybe we need to be a little bit tanky so that we can tank the hits for a horse. Let's see, gnomes, -2 to strength, so we're probably not going to go with a gnome. Probably is a way to build around that to really make gnome work, but nah, not really feeling gnome. Halfling get +2 to one ability score, and +2 to another ability of their choice. Sorry, no, just +2 to one ability score. Nah, half elf. Not really feeling half elf. Half orc, that could be cool. +2 to one ability score because they're kind of human. Orc weapon familiarity. So one thing that I do like about the new D&D stuff that's been coming out, if you guys follow that at all, I don't know, is they've actually been dropping this sort of each race like is special in some area versus other races, and they're switching more towards of just having these floating ability score increases at creation, which would let you, like, if you really wanted to be a gnome who specializes in strength weapons, you could totally do that, and you could just say, well, my gnome character that I just created, lifts and has been lifting pretty much ever since they hit puberty and they became super strong, or maybe their body is physically enhanced by some kind of magic, and you don't have to have these weird restrictions that honestly they're just outdated at this point. We got the ASMR, which are like angel people. They could be cool. Tiefling, I actually think the Tiefling are super cool, especially if you could get wings. I don't know if the Tiefling in this game can get wings. We might have to click, check out their heritage. Let's see. I don't know if they're going to let you fly in this game. So we got the Beast Brood. Let's see. Beast Brood regard themselves as deserving of appreciation and opulence. Through deceit and sheer willpower, they achieve privileged stations in society. Sound like it? Ashura Spawn, lacking in any sense of empathy or pity, Fault Spawn often abhor all ways of life but their own. They inflict severe emotional and physical pain on others and never stop picking at the resulting psychological scars. Wow, what a bunch of assholes. Foul Spawn. Crude and boorish, foul spawn take a particular delight in giving offense and scandalizing polite society. They enjoy violating taboos even more than breaking laws, especially if it means disregarding or repulsing an innocence. Grime Spawn. Dreary and pessimistic, they are enthralled by death, disease. No, that doesn't sound like it. Hell Spawn. Rigid, stubborn, highly focused on sticking to plans. I'm not seeing anything that says flight. Motherless, maidenless, pitborn. Shackleborn, at Webs, Spite Spawn, or just straight up Tiefling. So now it looks like they don't got wings, so I probably won't play a Tiefling. The Ored, alright, Stone Guy, that's pretty freaking dope. Crystal hair, so they're kind of like the Stone Ganassi from D&D. Let's see what this says. So dwarf blooded, okay. Oreds are humans whose ancestry includes the touch of an elemental being of Earth somewhere along the line, often that of a Shaitan genie. All right, so yeah, I kind of am familiar with that kind of deal from looking into the genie subclass in D&D 5e. Stoic and contemplative, Oreds are a race not easily moved, yet almost unstoppable when spurred to action. They remain a mystery to most of the world thanks to their reclusive nature, but those who seek them out in their secluded mountain hideaways find Oreds to be quiet, dependable, and protective of their friends. So they're good boys. They're good little stone boys. All right, let's see what. Doesn't look like you get any ability score increases. That's kind of crazy. You know, you would think they get some constitution or something. Oh, they get to pick a heritage. I see. So, Gem Soul. This looks like it gives them +2 to strength and charisma. I don't know if we'll need the charisma very much. Iron Soul +2 to constitution and wisdom. And a -2 penalty on dex. And then just straight up Ored, +2 to strength and wisdom and -2 to charisma. That makes sense. Since they're secluded, they probably wouldn't be very well liked whenever they do come out of their hermit lifestyle. And they can use Stone Fist once per day. They're gonna let me see what that is. Transform your hands into living stone. Basically, unarmed strike, still 1d6. We're not gonna be really using that. These guys are pretty cool. Let's see what this is. Lead Blade, 1 minute per level. All melee weapons you are carrying when this spell is cast deal damage as if one size category larger than they actually are. For instance, a medium longsword only deals 1d8, but it would deal 2d6 points of damage if benefiting from lead blades. So that's actually pretty freaking cool. I don't know if I really like the -2 to dex, just because I know that when you're playing something, you know, depending on how you build them up, their AC and stuff like that, you can make somebody that's pretty tanky and then their pitfall is saving throws. You know, DM says make a dexterity saving throw and you're like, shit, well, all of my AC doesn't matter in this situation. But you know, nothing can be perfect. I don't know if we'll go with this though, just because we're gonna need dex for our unarmored combat feature. Let's see what else we got. Dampier. Half-living children of vampires, birthed by human females, Dampiers are progenies of both horror and tragedy. The circumstances of a Dampier's conception are often called into question, but scarcely understood, as few mortal mothers survive the childbirth. Those who do not abandon their monstrous children and refuse to speak of the matter, those who do often abandon their monstrous children and refuse to speak, that sentence is weird. While some speculate that Dampiers results when mortal women couple with vampires, others claim that they form when a pregnant woman suffers a vampire bite. They basically pick how your vampire person came into being. I don't know. Some particularly zealous scholars even contest Dampier's status as a unique race, instead viewing them as humans suffering from an unholy affliction. So what happens if they get cast like a greater restoration on them? I'm sure that's probably happened at least once, right? So they must be a unique race if you cast greater restoration on them and they don't turn back human, right? But indeed, this hypothesis is strengthened by Dampier's seeming inability to reproduce. Their offspring, inevitably humans, usually sorcerers, with the undead bloodline. Wow, that's a lot of lore packed into a race. Your special boys and girls that are born a vampire, and your children are not vampires, but they're probably sorcerers with the undead bloodline. It's kind of crazy. We're not gonna go with this. As cool as Blade is, we're probably not gonna be Blade. The Kitsune. Kitsune, or fox folk, are Vulpine shapeshifters known for their love of both trickery and art. Kitsune possess two forms, that of an attractive human of slender build with salient eyes, and their true form of an anthropomorphic fox. Okay. Despite an irresistible penchant for deception, Kitsune prize loyalty and make true companions. They delight in the arts, particularly riddles and storytelling, and settle in the ancestral clans, taking their wisdom from both the living and spirits. So, furry, basically. I don't got a problem with furries. Furries are cool. I'm not a furry, but, you know, to each their own. I think that we might end up going with half-orc. And it looks like we get racial heritage, and we'll be able to choose our own sort of background. So that might make me want to change my portrait. With a heavily armored orc. Stuff in situations like this, it makes me really pine for a portrait that is just kind of like a character that's hooded, and you can't really see what they look like. You can't really see any features. But I don't think that we have that option. I might end up actually just downloading some portraits later, and maybe I can retroactively update the portrait for this. But for now, we'll just go with this orc character. Undoubtedly, we will probably see this portrait in game somewhere, since it's one of the only orc portraits, and I'm sure that there are orc characters in the game. Let's see, racial heritage, human raised, or basic. You are a usual exemplar of your race. Human raised half-orcs lose ferocity and orc weapon familiarity, but gain one additional skill point per level. And then tribal half-orcs lose orc ferocity and keen senses, but gain 1 luck on all saving throws due to a sacred tattoo and a +2 racial bonus on Okay. I don't know which to pick, so I'll probably just go with basic. And then our background. So yeah, your background typically lets you decide sort of where your character comes from. You know, you could be a street urchin who's basically, you know, raised on them streets. I haven't really thought about where our character would come from. I guess if we're doing like a great general of the heavens, if they want to feasibly become a great general, they have to be born of, you know, some sort of nobility. But if we want to go for that Shin style character, then street urchin will be where it's at. Let's see, with acrobats, they add trickery and mobility to the list of their skills and get proficiency in throwing axes. That's kind of cool. A mugger, proficiency in dagger, punching daggers and darts, and trickery and persuasion. It's got some more information on here. If they already have the class skill, weapon proficiency, or armor proficiency granted by the selected background from her class during character creation, then the corresponding bonus from the background changed to a +1 competence bonus in the case of skills, a +1 enhancement bonus in the case of weapon proficiency, and a -1 armor check penalty reduction in the case of. So basically, you don't lose out if you pick something that you already got. Can you just be just a street urchin? Doesn't look like you can be just a street urchin. Gotta make a sub-selection. So we'll go with acrobat. Why not? Grew up flipping around and stuff. So next up, ability score increases. So while I have played Pathfinder before, I didn't get super into it, and our DM didn't let us level up past level 6. So I'm not super familiar because I've been more on the 5e side since then. But I think that I have a sort of a sense of it from playing Kingmaker, and I believe that there's only a few ways that you can add your dex bonus to melee combat by using certain weapons, but we aren't going to be doing like the unarmed strikes or the finesse type weapons that are typically in the game. So I don't think that it would be wise for us to have extra points into dex. So we might want to tank dex, probably not all the way to 9. And we probably are going to want to pump strength a little bit. So if you're super familiar with 5e but never done Pathfinder, I don't believe that you actually upgrade your ability scores at all while you're leveling up. You create your ability scores straight up from character creation. So we can go max out on 18 on strength. We're going to need some constitution to back that up since we're going to be on the front lines, and some wisdom. I believe this will be for like stunning strike and other stuff like that. If we get that as a Sohei, I'm not super sure. But we might need some wisdom thrown in there. Dex will be just straight out at 10. The only thing I'm seeing is I get a +2 racial bonus, but I don't remember seeing that. Okay, so yeah. I should be able to change that somewhere. Okay, now it's here, down here. Ugh, just gotta look down. So if I give myself +2 to strength, I can get +20 strength, which would make me pretty good at swinging a big metal thing on a big wooden stick. It should make me pretty good at doing that and knocking people down. So yeah, that would tank my dexterity since I no longer have +2 in it. So we might want to go a little bit less on stuff like intelligence. I don't want to have a negative modifier on my dex, just because we're going to need that for things like AC and saving throws. It'd be nice to have more. We might have to sacrifice our charisma. For charisma, it gives, the main thing that we're looking at here is use magic device and persuasion. I don't think that this character will really be using magic devices very much. So let's tank our charisma a little bit. We can be really bad at social interactions, which should be, it might make the playthrough a little bit one-dimensional. We might just be going straight to smacking people instead of trying to solve things diplomatically. But I want some dex. You can sort of get a little bit too lost in building your character around combat, and then not really consider, the consequences of being in other situations. But I think with some wisdom, some constitution, I think that's going to kind of narrow down our, sort of the negative things that'll happen to us. I don't think we'll be making many intelligence saving throws or charisma saving throws. We might, but it's probably not going to happen much. So yeah, let's go on from this and see what else we got. After this, we got skills. So athletics, move heavy objects, climb an obstacle, jump. We're gonna want to be a strong person. And then we got mobility. Is there anything regarding animals? Because we are going to have a mount. Perception, this depends on your wisdom score. perception is probably going to be one of the best skills in the game, just straight up. People overuse it, I think, in TTRPG, where they say I make a perception roll to look around me. It's like, okay, well, you know, what specifically do you do to look for whatever it is you're trying to look for? But in the TTRPG, or sorry, in the computer game version of it, then it might just be, you know, you walk somewhere and the game makes a hidden perception roll for you, and might determine what you see in the vicinity or something like that. So we might just want to go athletics and perception, since I'm not seeing that there's specifically anything for handling animals. And we only get 2 points, 2 precious little points. All right, next, feats. All right. If you haven't noticed by now, this is just going to be the character creation episode, and then the next episode we'll probably see some actual gameplay. But making your character is a pretty big deal in these types of games, so I'm going to take my time on it, make sure I'm getting somebody that I want to be playing. So let's see. So the thing about Pathfinder is it is a well of feats. You could say that if you ever have felt like you don't get enough feats in 5e, go play Pathfinder, and then you'll be sick of feats. And this is where you really lose yourself in, how do I make my character, you know, the best of whatever role that they're trying to fill. And a lot of the times, I'll be honest, if you don't know what these words mean, it's just trial and error, and just playing and experience until you sort of figure out, you know, what's going on. So as a monk, I didn't see. Let's just go back really quick. Let's see what weapons I'm good with, because I don't know if I'm good with glaives straight out the bat, straight out of the gate. Let's see here. Key weapon at 4th level is a swift action. So hey, may spend 1 point from a key pool to grant any weapon he wields +1. So basically, magic weapon, kind of, for a key point, which those are going to be precious until we get to higher levels. Maybe I'm just okay. Weapon training. 6th level, Sohei gains weapon training in one of the following weapon groups as the fighter class feature. Wow, so I'd have to wait till 6th level to really start specializing and using pole arms. We might have to dip a level into another class, to like fighter, to get access to something like that, to pole arms quicker, because I'm not really seeing what weapons that I can use, probably because I'm scrolling through this too fast. Okay, earlier I was talking about Stunning Fist. I even think I mentioned Flurry of Blows. So as a Sohei, those are removed. I'm not gonna be able to use those. Strange that it doesn't mention what weapons you can use. Okay, here we go. Weapon and armor proficiency. Simple weapons and martial weapons. Let's right click to expand. What martial weapon? All martial. Thanks for giving me a list there, game. What was that? I mean, I guess that pole arms are a martial weapon. I probably don't have to worry about that then. So all I was thinking about that is, am I going to have to pick up, you know, weapon proficiency, pole arm? I mean, I probably will anyway, because it can give you some pretty good stuff. Like here's exotic weapons. The Foucher, that's a type of pole arm. And if you want to use a voucher, if you find a voucher and you want to use it and you don't have this feat, then you're just not going to be able to swing it as effectively. I think that's kind of the only problem with having so many feats, is it kind of, you know, takes away from that feeling of finding something and then just immediately being able to use it, which in an actual campaign with friends, your DM might look over your character sheet and see, oh, okay, and so nobody at the table is proficient with vouchers. Let me I probably won't drop any vouchers then. Maybe I should just drop stuff that they can use. But since this is a game, items are probably going to be pre-generated to an extent. I won't say that everything's pre-generated. So let's see. Combat reflexes, seize the moment when an ally who has his feet. Okay, so these are good for when everyone's picking them. Weapon focus. These little thumbs up mean that they just recommend this so that you don't get too lost. I'm looking at stuff, but I might want to go weapon focus. Pole arm, glaive if they have it. But the truth is I don't know when I'm going to get my first glaive, so picking something like weapon focus glaive this early on is a little bit scary. But you can see here that it is a prerequisite for doing some cool stuff later on. So if we truly know that we want to be a glaive wielder, that's something that we're gonna have to get eventually. Alertness +2, bonus to perception skill checks. So like I said, don't lose yourself. This isn't like a guide type video, so I don't know why I'm talking like that, but I'm not going to try to lose myself too much in focusing only on combat, even though my character doesn't really have the stats to do much outside of, wisdom, in terms of doing stuff outside of combat. But let's see, alertness +2 to perception skill checks. This feat is a lot better in 5e in my opinion, but that's still not bad. Blind fighting can be good. Combat casting, no, we're not going to be using combat, or casting rather. Deft hands. No, don't want that. Endurance. +2 bonus to athletics checks, and +4 bonus on fortitude saves, and fatigue and exhaustion. I might just want to go endurance. I hate losing these sort of saves because my character doesn't feel, isn't statted out very well. Improved initiative, I might need something like this. Your quick reflexes allow you to react rapidly to danger. You get a +4 to a +4. So yeah, that's included in the alert feat, which is why I think that the alert feat is better in 5e, but in 5e it's harder to get feats, and so the feats are more compacted. Intimidating prowess, add strength to your persuasion skill, but our persuasion skill is so bad that adding our strength, what's that going to be like? What is our persuasion, like a -2? Charisma, okay, charisma is only a -1, so that'd be +4. So we might want something like that just so that we can, stand a chance in social interactions. Just grow some muscles on our lips and flex our lips really hard until smart words come out. Iron Will, +2 on will saving throws. And we would get wrecked all the time by our DM from make a will saving throw. Will, nobody has good will. Man, it's hard to choose. Do I want endurance, improved initiative, or intimidating prowess? I'm not trying to min-max here, so I'm just going to kind of choose what I think would be fun. And I think initially starting out in the game, I think improved initiative might be better for me in the long run. Just because I don't want to have low initiatives, and I didn't make high dex, so I'm not gonna get I'm not gonna get much to my initiative checks anyway. Let's see here. No, I don't need to know what check means. I need to know. Initiative check is D20 plus Dex plus other bonuses. So yeah, let's go ahead and go with improved initiative. I mean, I am on a horse. I am going to be charging first into battle. Let's make sure that we're doing that well. And then our animal companion, horse. We got, you know, a lot of choice there. We will pick the one thing that we can pick, horse. All right, and then what's this here? Monk bonus feature. All right. So this is basically some stuff that you get because we were a monk. So crane style, I remember this being really good in Kingmaker. So basically, you see here, crane style -2 penalty on all attack rolls while fighting defensively. So fighting defensively in 5e, which I don't think I knew about when I played. Sorry, not 5e, Pathfinder. I don't think I knew about this when I played with friends, but when I played Kingmaker, basically fighting defensively is a passive that you enable, and it gives you plus bonuses to your AC, but it gives you minus on your attack rolls. So when you take crane style, you only get a -2. So I think fighting defensively is normally like a -4. So this becomes really good because you get these follow-ups: crane riposte, -1 only on when fighting defensively, and then crane wing. When fighting defensively with at least one hand free, you gain +4 dodge bonus to AC against melee attacks. So this basically makes you, you know, pretty good at dodging attacks and gets your AC bonus up there fairly high. We might not be able to capitalize on this though, because it says you need at least one hand free. We are going to be using a glaive, so there's not going to be a way for us to capitalize on that. But we could get up to crane riposte. So whenever you lose the dodge bonus from crane wing because an attack missed you by 4 or less, the enemy provokes an attack of opportunity. That's pretty cool. I don't know how much that would come into play. So this still isn't bad. You know, we just probably won't go up to crane wing. And then there's dodge, which is a prerequisite for a lot of stuff. We don't need dodge to get. Well, we might need it to get crane riposte later on. But more importantly, we need this to get combat mobility. Get a +4 dodge to bonus to AC against attacks of opportunity. So we are going to be on a horse, so we are going to be running around, so we may trigger a lot of attacks of opportunity. Let's see, the condition that makes you lose your dex bonus to armor class makes you also lose this dodge bonus. We might, and I think combat mobility is also a prerequisite for some other good features. I'm not gonna dwell on that too much. Indomitable mount. Once per round, if your mount fails a saving throw, you can make a mobility check. Your mount makes it save if your mobility check result is greater than the DC of your opponent's attack. So we are going to want to protect the horse. We're definitely going to want to protect the horse, especially when we're starting out and us and our horse are probably fairly weak. Mounted combat. Once per round, when your mount is hit in combat, you attempt a mobility check to negate the hit. The hit is negated if your mobility check result is greater than the opponent's attack roll. Mounted shield. You may add your shield bonus. We're not going to use a shield. Spirited charge. When mounted and using the charge action, you deal double damage. You might not be using charge very much. Gain the ability to trample enemies while riding your mount. If the trample is successful, your mount deals damage to the target knocked prone by the trample as if you hit with one natural attack. be honest, I don't know if I would use that much. I think that I think I'm gonna want mounted combat and indomitable mount, as well as probably pick up Hairstyle and dodge. Luckily, we should get a decent amount of feats throughout the course of the game. So we're gonna let's start with mounted combat, because we probably aren't gonna have to make too many saving throws early on, and then we can pick up indomitable mount fairly soon after. Protect that horse, man. Protect that horse. All right, the Pantheon of Pathfinder. I don't know who these guys are. So let's just pick whoever seems the coolest. Domain of Glory, Good, Law, Sun, and War. Favors the Longsword. Who favors the Glaive? Favored weapon, Flail, Longbow, Atheism. Yeah, I don't believe in none of that shit, bro. I see the light. I literally see the light right there. Don't believe in none of that bullshit. Asmodeus, favored weapon, Mace. Favorite weapon, light crossbow. Favorite weapon, unarmed strike. Quarterstaffs, short swords, daggers, scimitars. Oh, here we go. Glaives. Shilin, priest of balance. Gotta be more on the good side of alignments. That I'm fine with that. First time playthroughs, I always play through like as a good boy. I don't know. That's just what I always do. And I say first time playthrough as if I always play through games a second or third time. It's very rare that I play through games multiple times, unless there's some kind of built-in system to help starting over new quicker and more fun. So I usually just only end up seeing the good side. The Eternal Rose. I actually remember this god from Kingmaker. I believe there is a companion that was a follower of Shilin. Yeah, we'll go with this. Domains, air, charm, good luck. Well, not good luck, but good and luck and protection. Alright. Sounds like a cool guy. Alignment, lawful good. Are we like a really, really good boy? Can we be anything else? I don't see an ability to change this. Is this gonna change based on our choices? I don't know. It's not letting me click on anything, so I have no idea. Looks like we gotta go with lawful good. I would like to be like more neutral good. Maybe it's because it shows Shaylin. So we'll see. It shouldn't matter too much. I'm not playing somebody that, at least I don't think Sohei has to stay within a step of a certain alignment or lose their powers. I don't even know how that will work in this game, honestly. Appearance. So what do we look like? Body type. Are we thick? Are we slim? Average? The orcs are pretty giant, so their main sort of their average body type is already pretty massive, and I like to look cool. And sometimes when you're massive, like you choose one of the bigger body types in these kinds of games, the armor, they just kind of stretch it to make it fit the character model. So thin might actually have us looking more cool, and when we're fully armored out. We'll have to see. Skin tone. I like darker skin tones. This just kind of looks like normal flesh. That kind of is off-putting considering we are an orc with tusks. Tusk Act 4? Tusk Act 3? Anybody? Alright, face. So I'm kind of just changes your face a little bit. Nothing too fancy. Yeah, sure, where did I go with this one? Kind of got a squished head going on there. Scar. Are you emotionally scarred? Did you go through a trauma? I don't think you did, man. Well, you were an urchin. So maybe you did get, oh, maybe someone burned you. That's fucked up. You got a burn on your face because you were living on the streets and no one had any empathy for you. Yeah, let's do that. People were mean to us growing up. They were mean. Alright, eye color. Is there only, okay, there's, so if I click on this, there's more skin options. Gotcha. It's also just things color in the flesh. Get more of those green tones. Eye color. I normally just always go with black eyes. My favorite color is orange, but I don't know if I can pick an orange eye color. Blue is overplayed, I think. Green's kind of like that underdog eye color, you know? Green's kind of cool. Hairstyle. All right, let's see what we're working with. I am always disappointed with the hairstyle options in video games. Seems like we just got the run-of-the-mill basic stuff here. Jesus, might as well just be bald, I guess. We'll just go with the buzz cut. You could kind of, you know, poly count isn't big, so you could say that these are dreads, but you know that these aren't dreads. They didn't do it. We didn't put those in. Yeah, we'll just go with the buzz cut. Who cares? Beard. You know, we are gonna eventually be a great general of the heavens, and most of those guys had pretty badass beards, so we gotta make sure that we are representing. It's kind of cool, you know, the little knot. Beard color, is that what this is? Hair color. Oh, we an old man. I recently read a bunch of One Piece, and in One Piece there are a lot of old people characters. There's a lot of stuff that Oda does surprisingly. You know, that goes sort of against the grain that, you know, most people sort of think and consider regarding some people, where they, you know, stereotype them as like a, you know, old people aren't strong, old people aren't badass. And in One Piece you see all these super strong, super badass people who are old as fuck because Oda just thinks that it's really cool to have like these old people who are still as badass as they were, or even more badass in old age, because he appreciates his elders. So go and you know, hug your grandma and call her a badass if she is still with us. So yeah, we'll just go with, you know, just basic. We'll just be a basic boy. War paints. Am I from like a tribe that would put on a war paint? I don't think so. Maybe I live a little bit in the wilderness, but probably not in a tribe. Maybe if I change the color. We are fairly basic, so we might want to give ourselves some kind of tribal tattoos to make ourselves unique in some way. This is more like a yellow, kind of like a goldish color. Not really orange, but that might be the best that we can get. Okay, we'll go with this gold face paint type color, and we will give ourselves some war paint. like this one. And tattoo. UI changed here. Not UI, but model changed. I guess if you pick war paint, you can't pick a tattoo. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, we'll go to pick our clothes color options. I feel like black and gray always complement orange really well. Of course, you can go blue and just be Goku, I guess. We're gonna go with a gray. That guy looks kind of cool, right? He looks he's an orc. I think that he can swing a glaive, even though he's squared up or in the box. These are layers. Layers don't matter if you don't have any.
I have no
Tattoo
use for
option.
this.
Okay. Voice.
Ah, a test of my abilities.
We'll go
I'm
with a male
always
voice.
ready.
This
Oh,
will
he's
hurt!
ready.
Forwards! No, no, I'll carve my name onto your flesh.
Let us press on.
I always liked the pious voice just because it's very deep and has the proximity effect.
Strike as one. I shall not falter. Our time has come.
Adventures await. This is my path.
A solid plan. The path is clear. I feel faint. Let us bide our time.
I lead. You follow. I am superior!
Calm down. Not dead yet. This will hurt. I didn't even break a sweat.
Don't know, don't care. Damn it all.
I can find better. We'll win this. One first come, first served. Are you still here? And off we go. Damn, son!
I kind of like the Optimist.
Beautiful. I can find better.
It's the
Does
most,
anyone require my counsel?
Optimus is the most protagonist-y choice. So
So
far.
it comes to this. Combat is adjourned.
Wise is
I
pretty cool
sense
as well.
something. I'll need to review this spell later.
First come, first served. Are you still here? We'll win this, one way or the other.
We'll go with Optimist. We could go with none.
And
but,
off we go.
Having a voice is kind of cool. All right, name. Usually in games, you know, growing up, I thought I was being cool when I picked my screen username and I made myself, you know, I tried to be as unique as I could, and I was like, what's the most unique, you know, Mr. That kind of sounds adult, and arson, that's a word you don't see very often. That's kind of cool, right? Yeah, that was the youthful days. Where am I gonna go with that? More towards what I like to go around these days. You know, I really like the idea of the god of wind, specifically spoken in the Japanese language. I guess I haven't improved too much over the years, but Fujin, just, you know, I'm a big Hajime no Ippo fan, and he's got it right there on his boxing trousers. You know, he is the god of wind. So Fujin has always been a favorite of mine, especially lately. And my name is, if you do it phonetically in Japanese, it would be sort of like Rai. So we could go with this, or we might just go with just straight Fujin. Sometimes, you know, you can go with Fu, spice it up a little bit. Fujin. Nah, we're just gonna go with just basic sort of idea here. Fujin. I like it. Her birthday. My census on this in the video game setting has always been who cares and why. So we'll do this 10-5, 10-4, 10-5. All right. Results.
Beautiful.
Okay, looking over this stat sheet, we now you probably see why we are going to play on normal setting, because we are probably going to get trounced left and right. No, I don't think we did too bad here. You know, looks all right. 13 health, perfect. So that's going to survive a strike or two. All right, so let's get the game started. I guess we'll do that next episode. So yeah, go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so that you can be notified when the next episode is out, or if it's already out because you know you're watching this in the future, you're a future person, then just click on the screen and it'll go to the next one, or don't, just let it play out and it'll automatically play the next one. It's your life, man. You decide, you choose. All right, see you guys next time.